thing. I technically shouldn't be allowing that, but I'm totally endorsing it because I think it's fantastic, and it will hopefully shame the City Council into taking our petition seriously and putting some bins around this area. Good evening folks, I'm here down at the Great Park Reservoir, or as some call it, the Duck Pond or the Balancing Lake. Never called it that. As many of you know, we did a campaign here last year to try and get some bins installed. That petition was handed into City Council last year. I've had acknowledgement that they're looking at it.
My son, resident of Great Park, calling on the City Council to install some litter alongside the lanes and some up at the reservoir with my board to prevent the accumulation of litter and waste that has been happening in the area for far too long.
Unfortunately, due to COVID, they've received it, but nothing has really happened. Well, check this out. Credit by the local community. The local community have stepped up and put some bins in, because as people who walk around here know, this is not something that, you know, we clean it up and then, you know, a few months later it builds up. This is every single week the rubbish comes back, and it's terrible. Now, I'll be honest, I have cut the City Council some slack because of COVID-19. It has affected pretty much everything. But what COVID-19 has exposed is just how terrible the litter and fly tipping is in this city. And because of lockdown, we've not been able to get out in groups to do litter picks, and the local parish council haven't been able to do their duty, and the Franklin Street champions, because this isn't something that's just happened during COVID. This has been going on for a very long time. In fact, the very first leaflet that I put out was on this issue. In that summer, we had the bin strike, and we went out and did a volunteer community clean-up. I joined the lay allotments, and we came around here and got an entire truckload of rubbish. But this happens every single year. We come out as a community, we pick up the litter, and it comes back over and over again. And as many of you know, we have been calling on the council to restore free bulky waste collections. In fact, it was one of our pledges if we took control of the City Council. Of course, we didn't take control of the council, so they didn't restore it. Many people also remember last year, we campaigned to get a booking system at Lifford Lane. They introduced that, and they're also now talking about extending that, which is fantastic. Now, thankfully, a report went to a scrutiny committee on City Council talking about how to manage the fly tipping. The 5 recommendations out of that report was 1, to name and shame people who fly tip. Number 2, they would introduce CCTV in fly tipping hotspots. 3, they want to work with local community groups to help them collect the litter. 4, they want to introduce community patrol officers. And 5, they are going to consider restoring free bulky waste collections, and I'm happy to see now that they are actually potentially entertaining restoring that system. And so there are 5 things that we need you to do if you support this. Number 1, comment below where you think CCTV should be installed. Number 2, share this video so people know about the campaign. Number 3, sign the online petition, because that will obviously back the petition that we've done for everybody's door. Number 4, report all fly tipping to me via email. If you send it through to me as a councillor, I can log when they don't get collected. And 5th and finally is to join the B45 clean-up that is happening later in this month, which is being organised by Ruby Wombles and local community litter picks. I'm going to be there. I'm going to try and get the MP down there and all the other local councillors. Please come out. It will be a great celebration, I think, after lockdown, for us all to come together as a community and to clean up the mess. And I also just want to say a massive thank you to all the local community volunteer groups. You really are champions, not just picking up litter, but embarrassing our local council and putting them to task. So a big shout out to the Franklin Street champions, the Franklin Parish Council, the lay allotments, the Ruby Wombles, the Great Park litter pickers, Fiona Phelps, Kirsty Simone, who am I forgetting? Ruby Wombles, have I said them? There are so many groups, it's ridiculous. And it's testament to how fantastic our community is. And also, I have to say how terrible our local council is here on the Birmingham side of the border. I know some people will say, oh, what about budget cuts? Bromsgrove don't have this problem, and Bromsgrove is obviously run by our party. And on every single one of our election addresses, on pretty much all of our leaflets that you see go through the door, we're always talking about litter and fly tipping, because we know it is the #1 issue. If the first role of the state is defence of the realm, then the first role of a city council should be to clean our streets, and they must do better. When they can't even empty the bins of this city, of this great city, what on earth makes you think you can run this country? Thank you.